Who does Usyk like to see fight?
Terence Crawford.
Terence Crawford.
Wow.
Oh, Terence Crawford. Who is here today? Big fan of Terence Crawford.
But Crawford already said, hey, look, Errol Spence, I've been wanting that fight for the longest. If he don't want to fight me, then I want to fight Jermell Charlo, Brian Castano winner. What's your take on that?
How about he do what's best and go fight Earl Spence then? Shut up. Take a little bit.
So why this nigga, first and foremost, why this nigga acting like Bud ain't been trying to fight Earl Spence for the last goddamn 4 years? Why is Jermell Charlo sitting here pretending like Bud ain't been calling Earl Spence out for the last 4 years? Why is Jermell Charlo pretending like Earl Spence ain't tell Bud he got to get a belt first? In 60-40, 70-30, whatever I give you. In other side of the street. In easy route. Why is he pretending like Bud ain't say none of this shit? You know what I mean? So that's my first problem with this situation. But here's the second problem with this situation, Jermell. Why is it when somebody asking you about a fight, why is the first thing that come out of your mouth, they should fight this guy? The fuck? What the hell? What? The niggas asking you about the fight. Why are you bringing up other niggas? Why are you bringing up other guys that have nothing to do with the question involving a fight between you and Bud Crawford? Why is Earl Spence relevant in a conversation that should be had about you and Bud Crawford? Jermell, who the fuck cares about what's going on with Earl Spence when we're talking about you and Terence Bud Crawford? So this right here is a red flag right here. This right here is very reminiscent to a situation where Earl Spence told Bud Crawford he needed to get a belt first. Okay, prerequisite number one, he needed to get a belt first. And for Jermell, prerequisite number one is he need to fight Earl Spence. Do that sound like a guy who's confident in his ability? Do that sound like a guy who's looking for a fight? Do that sound like a guy who's interested in making this fight happen? But the dude asking you about a fight between you and Bud Crawford and you bringing up Earl Spence, what they do to that? What they do to that? Fight Earl Spence, get a belt first. All this shit is sounding familiar. All this shit is sounding very, very reminiscent. All this shit is sounding like the same duck language you got from Earl Spence we're getting from Jermell Charlo, but let's keep it going.
Less money. Be quiet. Humble yourself.
Why the fuck does an undisputed champion at 140 pounds, a three-time, three-weight division champion, need to humble himself? Humble yourself. That's some shit that you tell a Jerron Boots Ennis. Humble yourself. That's some shit you tell a Virgil Ortiz. Some up-and-coming newcomer motherfuckers. Some dudes that ain't really do shit in the sport of boxing. Some dudes that haven't really headlined a motherfucking card before. Humble yourself. Why the fuck should a three-time, three-weight division, one-time undisputed champion humble himself in order to make a fight? I'm gonna need y'all to explain this shit to me. Jermell, in the middle of your bullshit ass rant, but let's keep it going.
Fight Earl Spence, your stud. Do what he say.
And let me remind y'all again, the conversation is about a fight between Jermell Charlo and Bud Crawford. The question was about Jermell Charlo and Bud Crawford. Why the fuck we talking about Earl Spence in the first place? Jermell, why the fuck are we discussing a dude that has nothing to do with the fight between you and Bud Crawford. Shit, if we bringing up Bud Crawford, let's talk about Gary Russell. Let's talk about Demetrius Andrade. Let's talk about Devin Haney. Let's talk about Lomachenko. Let's bring up other guys that ain't got shit to do with a fight between you and Bud Crawford. This is why the Charlo twins, both of them, are on some clown shit to me. But let's keep it going.
And then you might be the challenger sometimes. These people don't know how to do that. They don't know how to be the challenger. That's his problem. He think he too.
How the fuck is a dude that's been champion probably almost a decade now, a champion in 3 different weight divisions? Why does he need to go back to being a challenger for a dude that ain't accomplished nowhere near as fucking much as he has? Knockout, these are the questions I got for you. I'm gonna need you to explain this. Your boy Jermell, right? I'm gonna need you to explain this to me on behalf of your boy Jermell, because he not making no goddamn sense on why a 3-weight division, 3-time world champion needs to humble himself, become a challenger for a guy who hasn't accomplished nowhere near as much as he has. But let's keep it going.
High up on the horse. Bob Arum don't give a damn about him.
What the fuck does Bob Arum gotta do? What does Bob Arum gotta do with anything? Again, let's bring up other dudes that ain't got shit to do with a fight between Jermell Charlo and Bud Crawford. Let's bring up Oscar De La Hoya. Let's bring up Eddie Hearn. Let's bring up Jerry Rice or Michael Jordan. Some other motherfuckers that ain't got shit to do with a fight between Jermell Charlo and Bud Crawford, because that's what the question was about. But even if you want to bring Earl Spence into the equation, even if you want to bring these other dudes into the equation, Bob Arum is not a factor when it comes to making a fight between Jermell Charlo and goddamn Bud Crawford or Earl Spence. But let's keep it going.
Bob Arum told him to his face he done got lawsuits with his own promoter. You ain't worth shit to me, for real. That mean the man didn't really care about you anyways. You should have just shut up, made the right decision with your people that love you.
Nah, nigga, you shut up. You shut up with that dumb ass shit.
And then do what you gotta do. Like, it's not my fault that you can't. Hey, they got some studs. Al Heyman only gonna sign the best of the best to me, personally. You got Ennis, you got Garcia, you got Thurman, you got people making a name for themselves in your own weight division. Sit your ass in your weight division and see if you can beat one of them.
Do everything except look for a fight with me. That's what that shit sound like to me. Fight these other guys, but don't look for a fight with me. Go over here and do this. Go to 160. Go to any other weight division, but don't come to 154 looking for a fight with me. That's what this shit sound like to me. You talking about Keith Thurman? You talking about a dude who ain't fought in 2 years, and in his first fight is fighting Mario Barrios, making a name for himself? You sound like a clown. This is some clown shit by Jermell. What does a dude who hasn't fought in 2 years, who just came back in his step-up fight, what does he have to do with a fight between Bud Crawford and Jermell Charlo? How is Keith Thurman making a name for himself with a comeback fight? How is Earl Spence, also another dude who hasn't fought in almost 2 years, how is he making a name for himself right now? You bringing up Boots Ennis, a dude who hadn't even won a belt yet. How's he making a name for himself? You know who's making a name for himself? A dude named Terence Bud Crawford, who just stopped the Showtime Sean Porter, a dude who had never been stopped, who had fought everybody there was to fight at welterweight, and gave everybody who he got in the ring a good goddamn fight. That's who's making a name for himself. But let's keep on with Jermell and his bullshit.
Fucking with me, you gonna get knocked the fuck out. I'm a knockout artist, baby. I ain't here to play no games and I don't get paid for overtime.
The first grown man thing that he said. But at the end of the day, I see through the bullshit. You know all that bullshit you were saying before was some soft ass shit. So in order to make up for it, you want to throw in, he gonna get knocked the fuck out. Nigga, you ain't fooling nobody. You ain't fooling nobody with that bullshit. All that soft ass shit that you said before, and you want to cap it off with he gonna get knocked the fuck out. Well, if you really believe that, then you would say things in order to get Bud in the ring with you as quickly as possible. I did a live about this last week where I was talking about David Benavidez and how respectful he was towards Demetrius Andrade. He said Demetrius Andrade is a great champion. He said Demetrius Andrade is a great fighter. Okay. He said, I want to fight Demetrius Andrade next. Okay. Because when somebody wants to fight somebody, usually they say whatever they need to say in order to make sure they get that person in the ring with them. Okay. They give that person respect or they give that person extreme disrespect. Either way, whatever follows that conversation, whatever follows that statement is, let's make the fight. But in the case of Jermell Charlo, he talking about knocking people the fuck out. He knocked the fuck out. But we don't hear no, let's make the fight happen. We don't hear no, let's do it. Next. Come up right now and let's fight if that's what it really is. We hear no enthusiasm on behalf of Jermell Charlo in regards to a fight with Terence Bud Crawford. So the only safe thing to assume here is Jermell Charlo don't even believe himself that he can knock Bud the fuck out. Because if he did, that would have been the statement to follow what he just said as far as this, he get knocked the fuck out thing.
So is Canelo gonna fight Billy Joe Sanders even though the ring too big? I heard some bullshit happen where the ring was like supposed to be 24 and then they made it 20. So like, come on, Billy Joe, you on some bullshit, nigga. Pussy, you scared of that nigga Canelo? You put that smoke. Canelo by far the best fighter in the world right now. I ain't gonna lie.
Get the fuck out of here.
That's what it is. And the best should fight the best. So.
Who's the best welterweight in the world? Respectfully, Terence Crawford.